All right, everybody. I actually added another segment to the show. It's kind of like world news through like internet stories and stuff, not videos. So I'm calling it world news, but some of it might be world news, some of it might be just here in America. But I just thought just to spice things up a little bit, there is some internet news and that kind of stuff. I only got a couple because I try to make this video not super long so people could come in, have their fix, and you can leave in the world. So I'm going to play the intro to the new world news segment. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty will know. Scotty has to know. Scotty's gonna know. I'm gonna tell Scotty. Gonna tell myself. Scotty has to know. Scotty has to know. Scotty has to. Scotty has to. Scotty has to go. Scotty doesn't. All right. That's the segment of world news. And like I said, these are articles. These aren't actual, videos, because we got a lot of other videos for other things. So like I said, people, I'm jumping right into it because I don't want to overpack you guys so much. And then it takes forever to get to it. This first story, another story. Lately, we've been having stories about.
There's a lot to manage in life right now.
Let me get that ad off. I hate those. This last week, there's a story that 2 days early, we found out there was a meteorite coming out of nowhere. And here's another story that just came out on March 19th. Fridge-sized asteroid hit Earth 2 hours after it was first spotted, NASA says. So here's another. Here's a video here. Let me see here. Kate Willis, Ben's. They're not going to. What? They're not going to show that video? Oh, how stupid that is. Now, I wish it would. Let me see. If I refresh the page, will it go back there? Let me see what happens, guys. I know I'm very professional here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Right there. Oh, and it goes to a fucking commercial. Isn't that what the internet's all about, right? Commercials versus commercials versus commercials. Or ads. Hey, guys. Actually, guys, I'll tell you what, guys. Whoever tributes to the channel, I will tell you the temperature of my coffee. See that right there, Connor?
I saw a fireball crashing down. It looked like.
And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up. And he's like, what's the big deal? And they're spotting another asteroid coming. Now, guys, think about this. Let me see here. Let's look at it again. Let me see if there's sound here. Let's look at it again. Okay. Now, this is supposed to be coming from NASA or the governments of the world. Do we truly know that's a fucking asteroid? I mean, I'm serious. If just go with me on this. Connor, say that's a UFO ship from outer space or something, and it went through an atmosphere, and it's gonna go through the gravity. It's gonna smoke. It's gonna be on fire. It's gonna look like a rock and hits the ground. And whoever found it, the government finds it. You think they're gonna tell us that they found a spaceship? They're going to say it's a meteorite. I'm just saying, last week, there was another story that they spotted a meteorite just 2 days prior. Now here, 2 hours prior. It's the easiest cover-up to do, man. I'm telling you, it's the easiest cover. Oh, shit, a spaceship hit. Hey, guys, this is an asteroid. Let's say a meteorite. And then when you come out and tell people meteorite, they already got the thought in their head from the media to think a certain way. Am I crazy to think that?
No, I honestly think UFO vibes right when I saw it too, because you know me, I'm not huge on meteorites, asteroids, or NASA really having a clue what's going on. So whatever's in the sky is probably unidentified or projected on the other side. So it's either programming or a total mystery. But I love it. So I'm on the UFO camp with you, and definitely we've seen it before where there's been things that crash down and there's been lives and bodies taken away, and then they say, oh, it's just a magnetic space rock, but I think it's very interesting and it's fun to note. And now that there's cameras on everybody's door and car, we got eyes to the sky, but of course they can manipulate the energy up there and reflect light off that our eyes won't even believe what we see, let alone the cameras.
And this happened on March 11th. Notice asteroid at the observatory in Hungary. signature reported to the International Astronomical Union Minor. So this is, of course, in another country, but it doesn't matter what country it is. All governments are on this. They were never going to tell us the truth because, guys, why would they? If there's some kind of future technology, I'm not trying to get fantasy here, but if there is, you think they want to share it with the public? They want to share it with business? They want it all for themselves. Why? Weapons? Who knows? Weapons are, just super chips. I don't know. All I'm saying is don't always believe everything you see in the media because I'm telling you, this meteorite is the easiest cover up for anything. The
100%.
easiest. Let's look at it one more time. Let's see. Let's see here. It's going to show again. Here it goes. One more. There it is. Right there. Okay. If people want to believe that's a meteorite, so be it. I am not here to tell you it's not. Okay. Now, second story is I can't read it exactly for you guys because I'm afraid that sometimes on YouTube, they might flag it if I say certain things. So let's just say the movie War Games. The movie War Games is about a kid breaking into the Whopper machine to start an attack, a missile attack. Okay, so this story here is going to tell us if War Games was true, and if what places in America that they would aim for. I am here to help you guys to see if you're in that spot. But like I said, I don't want to read the title because it can be flagged. It can be flagged. It's more important to let you guys know that we're just going to call this War Games, the Whopper machine. You're playing the game, and you're going to pick the places that you want to hit first. There's a nice little picture of that. There's a nice little picture of that, what could happen. Now, let me give you guys the map.
Eric, could you scroll up real quick? That looks like a face. On the right side is the nose, then the hair.
Ooh,
so you can see the nose. You can see it perfectly.
Yeah, that is true.
The real question is, who is that? Is that Satan and looking like a man, that looks like a pretty normal man that would be able to deceive people and make friends. So be awake, y'all.
Okay. So here's the map. I'm here to help you guys. That's all I'm here for. Let's see here. We got my area, Seattle, a Navy base. So I'm a goner. Connor, now there's one hitting Florida in the Kings Bay Naval Base. Are you near there?
No, I'm on the other side. But if there was a large strike to any side of Florida, especially the north side, it might just crack off and fall into the Gulf of Mexico, into the Atlantic Ocean. But hey, it wouldn't be the worst thing with how some of America is acting,
Yeah, really, huh?
But I'm surprised they don't have over on my panhandle side. There is tons of Air Force bases and Navy bases. So just because the map doesn't show it doesn't mean they wouldn't target it. Because here is the apex.
This is just predictions. What the article is these places that they have here are the places that we have the bombs too.
Wow.
So, but everybody knows during the worst times of life, they want to aim for most populated, kind of like the movie Independence Day. They put the ships over the biggest areas with the most populated, to wipe it out. I mean, that's just the facts of war. Hopefully we never get to that point. But I wanted you guys to see the map to make sure that, are you in the safe zone? If not, I'm helping you to get prepared for the safe zone. But no, actually, overall, guys, we can't live in fear. We can't live like there's no tomorrow. You got to live for today. You got to get up. You got to get going because every time you hear on the news, there's a different kind of a flu that's coming out. There's a different kind of this. There's this. There's that. Bad air. Bad this. It's almost like, fuck. Why? Why are we even living if everything is going to hurt us? You can't eat that. You can eat this. It's just like there's nothing good that comes out of the news anymore.
That's why I always post, when I post this on Facebook, I say the only news I watch, the only news you can trust, because I don't mess with CNN or Fox News. It's all, fake illusion, placebo programming. Down here in Florida, we ain't heard of none of that crap. Like whatever these weird names things are. Come on, man. I'm still fishing and hiking and swimming and hanging out with friends, going to bars and concerts and NFL games and making new memories. And I suggest you guys should all too, because your immune system flourishes when your spirit flourishes.
This is what's messed up. Paranormal Chop Shops in Fresno, California. And looking at this map, no California is going to get hit. Hold on. California is probably the most populated state, especially city. Maybe New York City probably has like the most in the city. But San Francisco, Sacramento, maybe not Fresno, but Los Angeles, they will be targeted too. But Sonny, I guess according to this map, in California, you're safe. And I've always said you should all buy property in Fresno, because when the San Andreas fault finally goes, Fresno is going to have front beach property. So, Sonny, own your land, because one day when the San Andreas fault finally goes, you might have a beach a mile away from your house. Just saying.
I have some good footage out of Fresno of like a wolf man jumping from, somewhere I dug up online. And hopefully I'll share that in the next few days. But I would definitely want you, Dr. Wu, and Sonny to see it. And Papa Willie, because that's just their stomping grounds.
And I got one more news article. This is more for me than you guys, but also over the weekend for myself. It's a sad day for me, because I know a lot of you are not sports fans. I know that, but John Clayton's been in Seattle since 1986, has a radio show and all that, and he just passed away out of some illness, not COVID. They just brief illness, just gone in life. And what I liked about this guy that inspires me in different ways is he when he interviews people, he doesn't care if you're first string, second string, third string, fourth string. It doesn't matter. He treats everybody the same. It doesn't matter how big or not. He talks to everybody. He has fun. I mean, he talks to this drunk Irish guy from Michigan, talks about Notre Dame. I mean, he's just that kind of a guy. And, when I invite people onto my show and stuff like that, I don't care if you have 1 subscriber, 1,000 subscribers, 100 subscribers. I'm going to teach you the same. A lot of channels don't do that. And I learned that from John Clayton, saying, treat everybody the same, no matter what. Treat everybody the same. Ask them the exact same questions if you're going to ask a Tom Brady versus a second string quarterback. So even though he's a sports, a lot of you might not be into it, but, it just, and also tells you, who's only 67, out of nowhere, bam, your life is gone. What does that mean? Don't wait, people. Do it now, because you just fucking don't know. In the last 2 weeks, I lost one of my best friends I grew up with. An icon is gone before they're even in the 70s. It shouldn't be like that. But just, guys, just get out there. Do what you want. If you're thinking about starting a channel, we'll start that channel yesterday. Get it going. Because you just don't know. You just don't know.
Exactly. And tell the people you care about that you care about them. Just because accidents happen, things happen, and you don't want to ever have that weird burden of energy over you. So just be open and truthful with yourself and with the people you love.
Yep. So beyond that, guys, that is world news. Now we are going to be jumping right back into the Bigfoot. And now, guys, if you guys got articles that you think we should see, send them to me. I'll show it to you. I do so many things. It takes me 4 or 5 hours to actually get this show ready. So by sending me something, man, you saved me 30 minutes, 40 minutes, of material that I could just jump right into. So you guys can actually help out the channel a lot. Here we go. All right, I got a video called The Origin of the Bigfoot. Only 3 minutes, small channel, put it together. I thought it was very cool. And I'm not saying they're 100% accurate, because nobody's 100% accurate, because at the end of the day, we don't really know when the technically very first Bigfoot ever got spotted, because not everything in life has been recorded. But this is just a fun little origin of the Bigfoot, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
The legend of Bigfoot, a large, hairy, human-like creature with giant feet and a huge following of believers. But how did the legend begin? For centuries, explorers have written about the discovery of wild men, like the Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman, of the Himalayas. The modern legend of Bigfoot began in Northern California in 1958. A journalist at the Humboldt Times wrote a column about a reader's letter on the discovery by loggers of mysteriously large footprints. The loggers named the creature Bigfoot. While the name Bigfoot didn't come about until a few decades ago, legends of a North American wild man have been around for centuries. Before Bigfoot, the legend was called Sasquatch. The name Sasquatch comes from a mispronunciation of the word the Coast Salish people, who live along the Pacific Northwest coast from Northern California to British Columbia, used to describe a supernatural wild man. Sasquatch first appeared in newspapers in an 1884 article by the Daily British Colonist describing the capture of a half-man and half-beast in British Columbia. The article states the creature was found unconscious on a set of railroad tracks, and when it woke, a group of men chased it and knocked it out by dropping a rock on its head. Reported sightings became more regular in the 1900s. Author John Green compiled a database of 1,340 Sasquatch sightings in North America from 1957 through 1995. In his analysis, witnesses claim Sasquatch has superhuman abilities, including super speed and strength. According to a 2019 list by the Travel Channel, Washington State has the most reported Bigfoot sightings. But there's another state with a huge Bigfoot following, North Carolina. But believers can be found all throughout the Blue Ridge Mountains, as far south as Alabama. In fact, one of the country's most well-known Bigfoot museums, Expedition Bigfoot, is located in northern Georgia.
Guy right behind the museum that has 15, 20 head of cattle. He came to tell us that he found a huge footprint on his property right next to the creek. He said it was so big and clear that he ran all the way back to the tractor and got his wife and brought her all the way out to show her. And his sister-in-law, who lives over here on Back Pine Way, has been telling him she saw a whole family of these things moving through her property every October. He thought she was crazy until he found the footprint on his property.
So has Bigfoot made its way across the country? Or are there multiple ape-like creatures roaming North American forest? Sightings have been reported to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization in every U.S. state except for Hawaii.
And before we talk about it, the next video is about that museum that's in that state that video was talking about. So I thought we'll check out that video real quick too, about that in Georgia, and then we'll talk about the whole thing we just saw.
The legend. Have you ever seen him? Do you know someone who's seen him? We do. We're here in Blue Ridge, Georgia, at Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum.
My name is Dave Becerra. I'm the owner and creator of Expedition Bigfoot, the Sasquatch Museum. I built this after seeing one of the best Bigfoot movies in the world, The Legend of Boggy Creek. And ever since then, I've been very interested in large, hairy humanoids.
Dave isn't alone. Claims of Sasquatch sightings span across the U.S. and the world, some dating back to the prehistoric era.
Because all my friends are researchers all over the world. I just make a few phone calls and post some stuff out. Dave, I've got this. Dave, I've got that. I've got a witness that has this. It doesn't take me long to accumulate the artifacts I need.
Now, you also mentioned that a lot of people that come here to the museum have had sightings.
Police officers, nurses, highly respected people of the community have come out and told us about their up-close and personal later sightings of these creatures.
So you mentioned that where there's a lot of bear sightings, there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings. Why would that be?
Well, the bears are perfect omnivores, and they hunt during the day and during the night, and Bigfoots have the identical diet. So wherever you find bears, you'll find Bigfoots, and the more bears, the more Bigfoots.
I'm going to give you my opinion on why we don't see a lot of Bigfoot sightings south of I-20. No MARTA. That's what it is. You get Bigfoot MARTA, he's everywhere. Okay, but you do have some sounds, some screechings or some howlings that we could actually listen to?
Yeah, so you can hear 20 minutes of howls recorded from all over the world.
Kind of sounds like Uncle Frank on Christmas Eve after he's had about 12 Manhattans. Yeah, unrecognizable.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping during my visit for a chance to see the real Bigfoot, but no such luck.
A fascinating day here at the Sasquatch Museum, but I am exhausted. I'm going to nap while y'all drive me home.
I thought those two videos kind of go together in a lot of ways. So, like I said, there's a lot of reports, but we know there's thousands of more reports that never get reported. So that number is even bigger. But just all the museums that's around the United States and around the world that we're learning, there's so many more Bigfoot museums I ever thought existed. And people, they won't build these museums if people don't come. If people come, that means there's some kind of I'm not saying they believe in 100%, but they're interested enough to go. Or maybe they're not man enough or woman enough to admit that they believe in the Bigfoot. And they're going to be saying, well, I don't really believe. I just thought I'd check it out. No, some people are just afraid because they're afraid what they think people are going to think of you. Don't be afraid. If you guys live near these museums, go to one. The one I showed last week in Oregon, as I looked at my map, is 3 hours away. And I am going to be going there in April. I just got to find out what weekend. Go to these museums, support them. Tell them the stories, tell them the people you know. That's what the museums are about. It's like a mini con without a con in some ways.
For sure. The Expedition Bigfoot Museum is amazing. If you want a full tour, go on to my channel, and I have like a 20-something minute video showing everything there. It's definitely one of my favorite spots that I've been to in this research, because just in that location, there has been hair and other DNA recovered. And we had some crazy things over at Cohutta Mountain, and Cohutta translates to big frog. And I think it's just a big frog mud fossil. So of course there's going to be hairy men on top of these Leviathan creatures. But yeah, they have a huge turd of Sasquatch. They have butt prints, hand prints, audio, things they've twisted and turned, a whole missing 401 section that you can like deep dive into the cases and try to figure out what happened to some of these people. There's tons of other casts. Josh Gates, Ron Moorhead, all of them have a little setup. Then an Ape Canyon attack little area. It's one of my coolest, funnest places I've visited, man. And I went with Tristan and Mogollon Monster, and it's in Cherry Log, Georgia, right on the Tennessee line. So definitely recommend it, guys.
Oh, that's cool.
And my book is on display there, somewhere on the bookshelf.
Cool.
It's autographed. Yeah, it's very cool.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So, tell them this guy sent you. And yeah, Spooky Morales, they're the Paul Freeman butt casts. And the Freeman footage is some of the best Bigfoot footage out there. And he has handprints, butt prints, tons of foot casts, and other weird body casts, knuckle prints too. There's a Neanderthal hand there. There's also a scalp, a Yeti scalp, and a finger bone. It's an amazing spot. I definitely recommend there.
They have everything except male genital DNA.
Yes, the male side comes from beyond, something outside of our realm. But the female side of the DNA is human, and they can actually pinpoint to what side of the earth and where it's at. Where the motherhood came from, because through all this DNA, they found it through Australia. This has Asian descent. This has African descent. This has Middle European descent. It's very interesting. So we are making ground. Just remember that, and a lot of channels and a lot of believers and a lot of knowers, they don't know how much is actually out there. So it's nice when you can actually go to these museums and you're just dumbfounded with, there is piles of evidence, and it's just a magical location, and you're able to film there and definitely, spread your vibes there and sign the guest book, because all of us need to just come together as a community.
You just learned today that himself, Connor, has a book there. You go in there, you might discover that yourself. You know what I mean? You're not just supporting them, you're supporting Connor. And
it would be very cool if they start selling my books there.
Well, yeah, you might, but somebody else might be walking by and say, hey, man, I know this guy, this Connor's book. Oh, right, I might check him out on Amazon. It happens, guys, word of mouth. It happens. Be part of it. Now, guys, if you guys want to contribute to the channel.
And real quick, guys, everybody check Eric out on, do you have Buy Me a Coffee yet?
You know what? Well, I have Super Chat, and I also have a PayPal bill.
You need to buy me a coffee too, because Chad Smith, Spooky Morales, Cassie, it's definitely expanding.
In the middle of that, and I wanted to get in contact with Chad, because there's some questions on there. I wanted to make sure what's the best route to go. So I actually have it. You're right. I saw it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk to Chad or Spooky a couple questions on, am I doing it correctly? Because there's different directions to go on it. And I don't want to pick the harder one. I want to pick the easiest. And I want to talk to the people who know and all that. So guys, let's jump on over to the paranormal. I think I got some good stuff for you. All right, I might have reversed the video on my bottom square. Let me just click this one. Make sure. Okay, here it is. Okay, I know which one that is. I had to make sure I know which one it is, because when you put these squares up, it doesn't tell you the title. It just shows you the squares. This one is hold on. In other news, let me open this up so I'll give you the exact name for this one. Okay, this one is called In Other News. In other news, helping spirits find peace. So this is actually a video about these. There's a paranormal group, and their main goal is to help them find peace. To help them find them home, I guess you could say. Now, some people do it for glory. Some people do it for the thrill. There is some groups that actually want to help the paranormal to find the light. And that's kind of cool. So let's check it out.
Those stories. One group in San Marcos certainly does. The San Marcos Area Paranormal Society wants to help spirits find peace. Tonight, Hank Kevinero takes us along on their journey through a cemetery.
In a place most people don't want to go.
Where some people walk away, we go towards it.
There's a group of people searching for what many don't want to find.
And these come with a night vision on it. We try to get some answers for people who are, too afraid to go on their own or don't want to face it, so we try to get the answers for them. The reason we picked this cemetery was it's also known as Crybaby Cemetery. There's a lot of babies that are buried here, a lot of young children. Usually you start having electrical problems as you're passing by. And everybody here pretty much has their own ability, their own gift. I think it's going to go pretty well. I think they're picking up on a couple of things already. Anything starts coming up, it'll start moving all the way to red, green, orange, all the way up to the very end there. The more we walk around, we'll see if we pick up on anything.
Searching for spirits, souls who are trapped.
It's pretty steady.
Frank Gonzalez and his group, the San Marcos Area Paranormal Society, have been doing it for 5 years, using tools to better communicate.
So it's actually sweeping radio stations that'll pick up voices.
Because what may go unexplained,
is that a no?
They look for the answers.
What's that heaviness again?
Some in their group, like Mary Lancaster.
We're just trying to feel drawn somewhere, see where we're drawn to. Oh, somebody just grabbed my hand.
Feel a deeper connection.
It's almost like somebody's taking over my thought processes and I'm hearing my own thoughts, but it's not me.
Using their gifts to help some move on. Tonight, they're feeling a young boy and a grandmother. They believe they're trapped.
We'll have somebody that can help cross spirits over.
Like Rita Green.
Most spirits want to move on. These people have already told you they do. Okay, we could join hands and say a prayer. Anyone on the other side that are their guides and their angels, help them join them again and to be together where God intended.
It's time for you to move on.
Go home. We see you go home.
So it is. That's so cool. I've never done that with you before, Rita. That's so cool.
Because there are people who look for things others don't want to find. In the places that some don't want to go. To find answers and help those we don't see.
That's it. That's it.
Definitely is a little bit different of a story than what we normally get to tell, but that is the whole point of this segment, which is why we want to hear from you. If you have any stories you think fit the In Other News brand story.
I just think that's kind of cool, that's their goals, to help people cross over. I mean, that's nice, because what if, I don't know, what if you're a ghost and I don't know what kind of memory you're going to have while you're a ghost, if you got bits and pieces, I don't know, but you're looking to go to the other side. It's nice to know that there's some people in the living that still wants to help.
For sure. Just a little bit of guidance can take you a long way. And yeah, if you're lost in oblivion for God knows how long, it feels like, they say one day in heaven, or one day on earth, one day in heaven is 1,000 years on earth. So imagine how long the limbo process would be. But yeah, man, I think it's very interesting. And luckily we have friends like Through the Gate Paranormal and Through the Veil Paranormal, and then Amber's Paraworld, and a lot of other cool friends that they have those abilities. But right there, it made it seem like even just everyday average people, it seemed like they were interested and might have had abilities, but you don't need it to be all Hollywoody to do the process. I feel like that just built the bridge a little stronger.
Exactly. You can't ask for better than that. And actually, I don't remember if it was Friday or no, I think it was Thursday on the show that Amber Paraworld was in the chat, and there's a guy in the chat that said his house was haunted, and we actually stopped the show in a way and technically helped him out. Amber is giving him questions, answers. We actually helped the guy. I feel that, not giving him the best, I don't know our answers are the correct answers, but he learned that his house is haunted, but the ghost is friendly, never harm, always done good. But having a person like Amber in the chat telling him what to do, and this person, that's community right there, man. That's community at its best. And I'm willing to stop the show if somebody has an event with the Bigfoot or paranormal. We're here to help. That's all we hear. Now, this next video, guys, is called Team Investigates the Paranormal History Buried Beneath the Surface of the Arkansas State Crime Lab. Arkansas State. So, guys, if you live in Arkansas, this story is for you.
Well, tonight
Heck yeah.
we're diving into the world of the paranormal with an investigation into Little Rock's natural resources area.
Of all places, the home of the state crime lab is bound to have a few spirits lingering around. But Claire Kreitz shows us Sweet and Sour Paranormal uncovered the stories buried below the surface.
A full moon shines on the Arkansas State Crime Lab, the home of investigations into unexpected deaths across the state. Just as this paranormal group begins their investigation into what
I saw a full body ghost walk right underneath that tree.
Or who
There's a Danny.
could be hiding around the corner.
Ever during an investigation.
And you just saw one?
I just saw it. Like, yes.
Sweet and Sour Paranormal was called by a family who lives in a home that backs up to the state crime lab after they experienced a few things that just couldn't be explained.
That's where I was when I saw the bottle of cleaner. It had been on the counter up against the backsplash. I looked up and it's sitting upright in the middle of the kitchen floor.
It didn't take long for these paranormal hunters.
Will you touch the ball for me and make the light shine up again?
Thank you.
To start experiencing the supernatural themselves.
Hello, how are you? It shook your hand.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Give Michelle a hug. Oh, there you go, touching your hand again. Holy crap. Oh, where'd he go? You turned towards it and it, oh my. It gave you a hug.
Randy goes.
Yeah.
Michelle Martindale is the clairvoyant of the group and says the spirits just want to share their story.
I'd like to know if they know anything about the little one, or like the little voice that. It sounded like a little one's voice. Let me put it that way.
Billy. Billy's the name. That's all I know right now.
While some of those can be traced back to the crime lab, others are buried underground before this building ever existed. The year is 1883, and the Arkansas Lunatic Asylum just opened its doors off Markham.
Into that mix, you also throw folks who were suffering from addiction. You had drug addicts, you had alcoholics.
State historian David Ware says mental health care was not at the place it is today, meaning the asylum was constantly overcrowded.
When you have hundreds of people confined, you're going to have deaths, of course, and they were simply buried on the grounds.
As the asylum expanded and became the state hospital, those bodies needed to move.
At some point in the 20th century, most of the graves were relocated to a site further out Markham Street,
now known as the Natural Resources Area.
Something like 4,000 burials were relocated out to that area.
By the 1970s, this area was growing
Like
rapidly, and again, the graves needed to move.
But approximately
Did they move the bodies?
1,500 to 2,000 of the burials were left in place.
Walking through the grass, some grave markers still remain. A monument also stands remembering the generations of unclaimed mental patients laid to rest.
Talking to this device as loud as you can for us. We're going to ask you some questions.
I think that's funny.
As Sweet and Sour finishes this investigation,
Are they okay with us being here?
oh, absolutely, they leave this family with a better understanding of the souls lingering in the shadows.
We don't need to see that last part, but it's pretty interesting. A little history of Arkansas. So, as some of you who live near Arkansas, sounds like that'd be a good place to do a little investigation. It sounds like a little poltergeist there. They moved the stones and stuff, but they didn't really move all the bodies and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, that was very cool. Just on many levels. One, it was inspirational. I suggest everybody who's got a paranormal channel, reach out to your local news station, because the stuff we are doing is very interesting. And, you know, it's I don't know, it's compelling to the mainstream for these little small segments. And I just looked up the Sweet and Sour Paranormal. They only have 97 subscribers. Not to hate on them, because they have a nice product. But, you know, all of us here, we all got bigger than that. So let's just keep rising. Definitely reach out to your news stations. But the one section that showed, you know, her getting hugged by the ghost through that sensor, I love that kind of camera. When that was being filmed on me, there was tons of activity. It's super creepy. And we use a Kinect from a Xbox 360 because that has that sensor to pick it up. So you hook one of those up to an iPad, and then your jet set radio. But very interesting, and that asylum is definitely right up my alley too.
The only thing I would say I didn't kind of like is when that guy was talking and they talk about kind of people that were there. They always bring up drug addicts and alcoholics and stuff. Not all. Listen, a lot of people have mental illness, needs help, and it's not because you're a drug addict, you're an alcoholic. And it seems like any places like that, they always like trying to slam certain groups of people, and it's kind of unfair because everybody's been learning a lot of normal people out there are coming out with mental illness. I mean, whoever thought that Robin Williams would take his life? A comedy guy, you know, and So it's just not drug addicts. It's just not alcoholics in these places. These are real people that, you know.
And drug addicts and alcoholics are real people too, and they're good people.
Yeah, they're all real people.
We've all had problems in our past.
But sometimes they make it like this is the reason why it's messed up because of these people, and it's just not true. It's just not.
Sure.
It's not. So
that guy's one right turn, left hook away from being in a loony bin himself. And just like that comment said, you know, how many paranormal investigators have schizophrenia? And that's a funny jab, of course. And I was thinking that too when those girls were, you know, holding their hands in the graveyard. It's like, yeah, either they're picking up on some real energy or they're hearing voices in their head and other people would think that's something else. But I'm well aware that energy exists. And once you team up, it gets stronger. It's proven in many different facets of life.
And I'm not afraid to admit that under my service-connected disability with the military, 50% of it is PTSD. And it's not from drugs. It's not from alcohol. You just, you know, there's just weird things. So all I'm saying is don't stereotype anybody. It's not
right.
It's
so
not
am I,
That's
Scott.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to get political here. Just don't stereotype people. And I hate it when I had a person that said, Connor, he's probably a drug addict. That's stereotyping somebody. You're stereotyping an intelligent person, college person, and you're stereotyping maybe because his hair's long, I'm wearing a hat. Guys, if you're gonna stereotype, it's gonna come back in full sometime in your life. It's gonna come back. It's gonna get you. I'm just saying. So, guys, beyond that, let's go into the UFO. All right. Now, this first video, now let's make it clear. If anybody who studied the UFOs knows this story about the Asia-China alien, it's considered 100% hoax. But I always say, is it? Do we really know? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. It's actually the pictures right above myself and Connor on my thumbnail. You can see it right there. There it is. It's a video. So all because everybody calls it a hoax, unless you know somebody directly with that, you never know. But let's check out the story about the Asian China alien.
And now let's talk about what's been trending on Google this week. The Wall Street Journal's Ramy Inocencio tells us what the world's been talking about and why.
I'm Ramy Inocencio with a look at what's spiking on Google Trends in this past week for the Asia Pacific region. Joining me now is Joyce Howe of Google Asia Pacific. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell me the coolest or the craziest thing that you've seen in the past week out of Asia.
Well, one of the craziest stories we saw came from China this week, where a farmer from Shandong province claimed to have electrocuted an alien on the banks of the Yellow River. So he took this alien corpse back home and stuck it in his freezer and took pictures of it.
And it looked like a piece of dough, a huge piece of dough.
Yeah,
but I understand it actually wasn't dough.
No, so upon interrogation, the authorities brought him in and actually asked him. He confessed it was a hoax right away. Actually, it was made out of high-quality rubber.
That begs the question, where does a rural farmer, as respected as he is, find high-quality rubber out there?
You can find a lot of things in China.
And for cheap, too.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm not saying it's real or not, but all because a group came by and made him say he was a hoax, or was he forced to say it was a hoax? Now, most likely, it probably could be, but gotta leave that little point out because they probably take it. Listen, they could have been a different. Just go with me on this. A different alien, and they planted something in there to make this guy look crazy, like he's a nut. And that other guy on the news guy might be right. Where would they get this guy from trying to get this high plastic? Because where they're at in that part of the country, they don't have like the resources that we could get here. China's more locked down on what people could get there. It's a communist country, you know. But you know, like I said, it's probably fake. But I don't know. Maybe it's not.
It's very interesting. That's definitely, but it could get swayed real quick. Yeah, he hears the authorities are coming, so he swaps in the high quality rubber one, and then the chamber locks away the real one. But it's definitely very interesting. The Minnesota Iceman story, the one Bigfoot that they toured around America, once it went through customs, supposedly the government took it, and they took the real one, and then he still had the tour, so he made a fake one. But then I've also heard the story that he knew they were going to take it, so he made the fake one. They took the fake one. He kept the real one. So we've heard the switch and fake and the bait and switch, before. So this might be the case. But I think it's really cool. And when you can have hands-on, it makes it way more real. I know at the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, one of the booths, I think it was the Ripley's booth, they had one of the mermaids, the half-stitched monkey fish type aerial creature. But that was awesome to see firsthand. But this thing would be amazing as well. But I definitely got the Minnesota Iceman vibes, but definitely is an alien.
And I agree with Angel. It does look fake. It does. I'm not saying it's not, but possibility, like you said, could have been swapped, could have been switched. Men in Black shows up. Hey, you're going to switch your story, or you might disappear.
But my honest judgment, I think, he just wanted the publicity. He heard they were coming. He was not going to get hauled away to jail, so he came forward with it. But I would love a deeper story. But that's honestly what I believe.
Gypsy is grays have been popping in and out a long time. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Reptiles. Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about doing the show this Wednesday on the reptilian about the theories of people. There's certain groups out here that are reptilians. It is interesting. So did I actually exit out of that video? Let me see. No, I didn't. Okay. Let me delete that one and get the next one up. Now this one is just a normal camera captures strange lights on camera. It doesn't actually tell me what city it's in. But I'm sure when we watch this video, it's going to tell us.
In this, a story trending on the 7 News app this weekend, surveillance cameras in Mississippi, capturing what looks for all the world like a UFO. See the deer appear, and then a dim light appears, and then it gets brighter, and then a weird shape on camera, and the deer just lights up brightly. But these cameras are infrared. They don't emit light. The homeowners have their own explanation.
Well, now, whether it's alien, I'm not sure about that, but it's definitely is UFO. Now, whether it's a government drone or what, I wish, if nothing else, one of them would step up and say, yeah, that's ours.
Well, later in the video, there are more lights. They look like headlights focused solely on the deer.
Yeah, but it's his land. He would have known if his headlights. I don't see that there's a road right there. Maybe there is a road. I don't see. But I think if it was a road there, that farmer would have said could be headlights because there's a road. But there's no road. Then what are two headlights looking like there? And I like the farmer saying, he's playing it politically kind of correct, saying it's a UFO, unidentified flying object. There's something there caught on his camera. That's why it's important to have cameras all around if you especially live out in the woods, because you never know what you're going to capture.
What's interesting is everybody's going UFO route, with this data. I think it might be more Sasquatch related because there's mist, there's smoke, there's orbs. They're peeking on the deer. It's making the forest come alive. I clearly saw the two lights. I definitely don't think it's a car. He would have said that. It wouldn't have been a news story if that was the case. I think that is very interesting, but I would open it up to UFO or Bigfoot right there, or even just like elementals in the sky. Like there is things that are floating that are the size of clouds that are actually alive. And then there's spaceships that are cloaked as well. So it could have been literally a small pod that is cloaked with two lights that maybe that somehow bled through. So It's very interesting footage.
Yeah. Well, who says what size an orb could be? I know we see footages. They could be gigantic. We don't exactly know. I mean, they might have so much energy, and that's what they're using the energy for, to be this big bright light. And then it could have been two different ghosts hanging out there, like you said. I mean, possibilities, right? They're right. Yes. And then there are stories about Bigfoot, like you said. There's stories that sometimes people think that they know there's a Bigfoot, and they're seeing orbs too. We heard that a lot from the Sasquatchers. sea Sasquatchers. They've seen orbs around the areas that they know there's a Bigfoot, or they feel that there's Bigfoot. I agree with you, Sean. Keep your mind open to the possibility. That's why we do these shows. We tell everybody. That's why if you're in the Bigfoot, you should learn the paranormal side, because what you might be hearing might be a ghost too.
It definitely all connects. And Tim T in Florida, I saw Nana Boss said that he just caught a full body apparition, which is wild. I can't wait to see that. But he has footage of a Sasquatch. You can see its head turn into an orb, and then it lifts a deer like 20 yards across the screen. And then you see the Sasquatch a little bit again. So it's very interesting stuff. I think that might have been some kind of Sasquatch footage. I'm definitely going to go back once Eric has it on his TikTok, and I'm going to rewatch it and share it, and maybe even duet it if I could see the hairy man.
Since I know you want to see it badly, I'll put it on TikTok today. Now, guys, we're going to go into the Mandela effect, but when we get in there, I am going to do a disclaimer on this one on purpose. There's a reason why I'm going to put a disclaimer on this one. But let's get into it.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Luke, I am your father.
All right. The Mandela effect I'm going to show you guys is something that I actually showed this like over a year ago, and most people in the chat probably never seen this. Now, a disclaimer that it's about Indiana Jones punching somebody. Okay? Now I don't support any men at all punching women at all. So when you see this video, it's not meant as evil. It's kind of weird thinking about this nowadays, where you guys, anybody in the chat who probably have not seen this with me over a year ago, do any of you remember Indiana Jones in one of his movies punching a woman? I'm not talking about punching an enemy, a working woman. Anybody in the chat? Come on, be honest. If you guys remember this, listen, this probably not even a Mandela effect. I know it's meant as a joke, the scene I'm going to show you. But I remember watching Indiana Jones typical, didn't like, fuck, did he just punch a woman? When did that happen? And it's probably always been there. It's just I never really look hard. Or has it been there? Okay. Now he punches a woman. Connor, do you remember Indiana Jones punching a woman?
I don't know. I've definitely seen so many weird clips like on Instagram and TikTok that I might have seen the clip like mocking it, but I cannot confirm. I'm definitely interested though. I've seen some stuff with some suspicious stuff that dude said in some of the movies, and I don't really blame Harrison. I blame Harrison for it, but it's more the directors. Yeah. They need
now he did not slap. This is a punch. Like I said, guys, don't think I'm doing this to promote anything. I'm not. This is for fun. And I know when they filmed this, it was for fun. And I guarantee if they would have filmed this shot today, Steven Spielberg would have not put this in there. Okay, here we go. I'll play it, and then here we go. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh at it, but this ain't no slap or just have cock. I mean, just watch this. Watch this again. Here we go. I mean, I don't know why I would have think that that's something I would have saw long time ago, and then I was just watching like, holy shit, he punched the worker, not an enemy with the machine gun. I would make sense, right? If somebody's trying to murder you, you're gonna punch who's ever in front of you. That's just a regular worker getting full Indiana punch. Now, in the story, he was drugged. So he was trying to find an antidote, and everybody's trying to kill him at that moment in time. So for the story wise, I understand why they did it. I guarantee they would have made that nowadays. I guarantee it. They would have not put that in there. But I just think it's kind of crazy. It's just like, holy shit, I saw this movie 1,000 times. And I don't remember this. Yes, Lockbeard, I know it's context. This is for fun. I'm not saying this is an effect. I'm not saying, or is it? It's up to you. I'll show it one more time. It's just kind of crazy. It's just crazy. Here we go. So now, does anybody remember that scene?
It was a good way to show he was discombobulated, so I think it adds to the plot.
Yeah, it's a plot story. It's like saying he's drugged and everybody's trying to kill him. He's just swinging away. But it was just like when I was rewatching and like, holy shit, how come I never seen that before? He just punched a woman. Now, when I told my brother that, Dr. Wu, he's like, I never seen that before either. Maybe there's a message there. Maybe it's saying that this stuff has been going on and it shouldn't, and it's taking the mightiest hero, so even he makes mistakes, or doing this, saying that all because people are heroes, you look at everybody's in Congress and all this, they're all big and powerful. They're not all perfect. Don't let them fool you. I mean, we hear stories all the freaking time that, look at that dirtbag. Oh, wow. I mean, shit, no offense to look at my wife and my son, they're all into this Kanye West crap with the fucking Kardashians. Look at that crazy shit that's going on. I mean, it's a comic book world, people. I don't know what else to say. I love this. Hold on. She shouldn't have been standing there. Okay, one more time, and that's it. One more time. Here we go. It was just, I'm not trying to laugh, but it was a full cock. And I'm sure if they interview Steven Spielberg, he probably would have said, I apologize during the time. I mean, listen, Revenge of the Nerds. The nerd technically drugged the cheerleader to have sex, and then, of course, she loved him because of sex. But technically in the movie, it's a drug. It was during that time when people weren't so sensitive in the world. I'm not saying they do this stuff on purpose, but as a gag, as a joke. I feel bad for some of these comedians, comedy people who do stand-ups. They say something wrong now, their whole fucking thing is ruined. Connor, who was that that's supposed to be one year was supposed to do the Oscars?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. They brought some shit up way while back, and it was just meant as a joke, to the point where he stood up and said, fuck this, I'm not doing this. Because people are too uptight. Maybe not uptight. Maybe there's always been a certain percentage of people that are uptight. It's just now it's easier to show people that you're uptight because you have ways to get that information out there now.
Yeah, cowards have a platform now. They don't even have to show their face.
And he requesting non-smoking. That's funny. So what do you got coming up, Connor, this week? Got anything good coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow I have a big day. I'm going to first be on Dixie Cryptid, which is like one of the biggest cryptid channels on YouTube, more than 100,000 subscribers. Oh, wow. Cam, he's a great writer. He was just at the camp out with the Beast of the East meet and greet, so he was just hanging out with BF Bud and all them. But then I'm going to be on that one time I was abducted by aliens. I'm going to be doing Bobby's Cryptid Corner right after that. Don't know how the timings are going to have to talk. I'm going to have to talk to the girls because hopefully Dixie Cryptid, I can bring all those people over to the girls chat and introduce them to some butt stuff, but it would be a really cool time. But yesterday I hung out with Mark Muncy and Carrie Schultz, the authors of Creepy Florida, Eerie Florida, and Freaky, Florida, and they were so cool to hang out with. We got lunch. They actually came to my work the night before and hung out with Jack McClellan, the director of Void Cat, and filmed us there. And he is a host of a TV show down in Tampa Bay area about paranormal. So it was like a road trip episode. So I was like the host of the tour, and I took them to the Void Cat locations where we filmed, some caves, and then some other haunted locations just around town. And it was a great time. Sadly, my GoPro fried out and broke. So it was a really great day and then a really low crash. But we always carry on forward. I'm really excited about the weekend because I'm going to Flat Rock Boogers with Matt Williamson from Squatch, South Florida, and Tyler Howell Outdoors. And we're finishing up our documentary From Fear to Understanding. So we're camping out with Flat Rock, and then we're going to be hanging out with Donnie Miller. And then I'm going to do the whole shindig with, Torreya, and hopefully we'll link up with Stacy. And just, it's about to be some Panhandle Pirates to the max. And it's just going to be time of my life. And I just released a video yesterday or the day before with Evan D from Occult 45 podcast, because he came and road tripped and hung out with me, and we did a lot of cool experiments, and we found an awesome Sasquatch print in the woods. It was a barefoot print in the rain, submerged in the mud. It was magical for sure. But man, just big things planned. And of course, check out my book on Amazon, Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden. Just before this, I just got done formatting my second book from Big Brother Bigfoot. So when that comes out, that's going to be my first main Bigfoot book put out by a publishing company. So I can't wait to reach out to museums and everybody across the world and hopefully get them, piles of them to sell. But again, man, just every day is a new adventure, a new journey. The day is young today, so best believe I'm going to get at it and after it too.
And guys, please hit that like button, of course, and start leaving comments. Leave comments. If you look here, it's like nobody leaves comments. I get like 5 comments, 8 comments. If you like the content, leave a comment, because comments do help. They say, I don't know for a fact, but they say that likes and comments help the video to be shown more. I don't know if that's true or not, but it is nice to get comments. If there's a segment that you like, let me know. If there's something more that you like, or is there another, maybe you want me to talk more Matrix stuff on the show, let me know. Leave a comment, because they say it helps the channel and all that. And one last thing, I want to, if you guys want to call this guilty plug, whatever you want, I mean, you can, but you can also join the Gypsy Road family. You can join the channel. There's a $2.99 a month, $4.99 a month, $9.99 a month. With that, I'm going to start doing some private shows where maybe if you want to know certain things that I can't say on here, well, I'll say it on there, because I can create it to another channel where I don't get in trouble here. So this is another way to help support the channel. Anybody who supports the channel, everything that ever comes in goes right back into the channel. If it's equipment, if it's this, it's that. And I feel myself, and I'm going to say this straight out, I'll say this to you guys right now, that I feel that my channel, Connor's channel, some other channels, that there's some real content. Connor goes out there with his shoes on, boots on. You saw his video Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday? It was Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, he premiered that he was out there looking for Bigfoot in the rain. I mean, he's out there doing it, I might not be out there exactly right now, but putting shows on like this takes a lot of hours, a lot of work. And I feel like we do a lot of stuff for you guys. And I feel like we have great content. There's some channels that I was telling Connor that doesn't have any content. All they do is talk about, I don't know, sticking fingers up people's butts. I don't know. I feel like we do. So support Connor by his channel, getting his book. At least by supporting Connor by buying a book, you get something out of it. You get to read something. So, joining the Gypsy Road family there, which is, I haven't changed that wording to Paranormal Highway. But, I could do some private shows that we could do some private kind of a talk that we can't do here because we get flagged and the channel goes down, But, I feel like we have some good content. I love Connor's content. You know?
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. Did you catch the part that I played the ocarina, the little flute type instrument? It was really funny. I was proud of that. I knocked it out of the park with my tune. Not one person said anything. I was like, well, at least the forest listens. But yeah, guys, as creators, like I see Sean G's in here. Even people that just show up on like occasion on people's panels, like we give. It's nice to get some back, and a comment. Come on, y'all, it's free. Like I comment on every video. So again, if I can be on the show and burn 2 fat joints at the same time and comment, come on, y'all. Y'all can too. So, and I lead by example. I wouldn't, expect y'all to jump off a bridge if I don't either. No. So, I'm leaping. Come on.
You just said it. Sean G gets people on the show. He gets phone calls calling in, putting stuff together. It's not as easy as people think it is. It is a lot of work. But beyond that, I'm just happy you guys are here with us watching this. I appreciate
it's
it.
Family.
And what to say? Paranormal Show. Thanks for checking out First Floor Audio. Well, First Floor Audio, his channel, he sings to you. He makes music. I mean, if I'm going to support a channel, that's kind of channels I support, because he's just not having people come in and talk about whatever, talk about farts. He's making music. Dude, on Saturday, I was sitting in a car. The wife's in the mall, whatever. I can't remember exactly where I was, but I was in the car. His channel came on. They saw me, and he was singing a song with my name, the show title.
Yeah, I mean, he's so rad. I've had private concerts with him. I love it when Chad and Spooky invite me on the StreamYard, and it's private. Like that's the beautiful thing. You make true friends back here, and I'm big on live music vibrations too. It's like a concert for me. Like you made art for Gypsy. Like it's a beautiful thing, awesome. Man. It's
the people I support. He didn't have to do it on his show. He goes, yeah, and I can't sing, but he's like, Paranormal Highway, and it was just like, think of it of Elton John singing, not me, because I probably just blew up everybody's fucking cameras just trying to sing, or microphone. But beyond that, guys, be back tomorrow. You working tomorrow?
I think so. I haven't heard from my boss, but my normal schedule is I would be. So yes, I think so.
Well,
so
I'll work tomorrow. I could do this anytime tomorrow. It doesn't have to be at 10 or 11. If you're saying at 12 o'clock or something, just let me know.
Yeah, 12 your time is always the best time. Yeah. 12 and after. But 12 is when I finally get the spaceship to myself, and then I get all the other freaking aliens. But
I don't have anything like scheduled where I got to do it first thing in the morning. So if you're available around 12, let me know if you want to be on. If you're not, just let me know. So beyond that, guys, we'll see everybody tomorrow.